The emergency alarm screamed through the crystal halls of the Galactic Council station, its piercing wail echoing off walls that had not heard such a sound in 3,000 years. Ambassador Zexhai of the Vorthic Empire pressed her six-fingered hands against the viewing port, her violet eyes wide with disbelief. "By the Ancient Ones," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the chaos erupting behind her. "They're real." The sight before her defied everything she had been taught. 10,000 ships hung in perfect formation around the station ships. Unlike anything in the known galaxy, they were sleek yet brutal, elegant yet terrifying. Each vessel bore the angular lines of a species that had supposedly vanished into myth millennia ago. "Impossible," hissed Council Chairman Vexter, his reptilian features twisted in denial. "The humans are extinct, have been for 5,000 years. This is some elaborate hoax. Some new species trying to—" His words died as the largest ship in the formation began to pulse with light. The communication array crackled to life, and a voice calm, measured, and undeniably human filled the chamber. "Greetings, Galactic Council. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Federation Fleet. We've been away for a while. We need to talk." The council chamber fell silent except for the soft hum of life. Support systems, 12 different species, representatives of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy, stared at the view screen in stunned silence. Ambassador Zexhai found her voice first. "Admiral Chen, if that is truly what you are, you must understand our confusion. According to our records, humanity was declared extinct after the Great Purge of Sol System 5,000 years ago." A pause, then a sound that chilled every being in the chamber. Human laughter. "Extinct?" Admiral Chen's voice carried an edge that made the station's hull seem to vibrate. "Who exactly told you we were extinct?" Chairman Vexter stepped forward, his claws clicking against the metal floor. "The Crovorian Empire reported the complete destruction of your homeworld. They showed us the debris field, the Crovorians." The temperature in the chamber seemed to drop several degrees. "Interesting. Are they still around? They are one of our founding members," Vexter stammered. "Their territory spans 17 systems. And they had—" the word cut through the air like a blade. "They had 17 systems." Past tense. On the view screen, space rippled. A new ship appeared, massive, angular, bearing the distinctive biomechanical design of the Crovorian Empire. But something was wrong. The hull was scorched, atmosphere venting from multiple breaches. The ship listed badly, its engines dark. "The Crovorians have been relieved of their territorial claims," Admiral Chen continued conversationally, "along with their fleet and their lives. We've been very thorough in our homecoming tour." The Crovorian vessel exploded in a brilliant flash of light. The shockwave rattled the station's windows. "Now," Admiral Chen said, her voice returning to its previous calm tone, "shall we discuss why you let them lie to you for 5,000 years? Chapter 2. The weight of truth. Council chamber had been hastily rearranged. The traditional circular seating gave way to a more defensive semicircle, with every ambassador's personal guard standing at attention. The humans had agreed to send a single representative aboard the station, a gesture of goodwill that fooled no one. Dr. Elena Vasquez stepped through the airlock with the confidence of someone who had never known fear. She was tall for a human, with graying hair pulled back in a practical bun and eyes that seemed to catalog every detail of the room in seconds. Her simple black uniform bore no weapons, no armor, no visible technology, and that somehow made her more terrifying than any war machine. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," she said, her voice carrying the slight accent of Old Earth Spanish. "I'm Dr. Vasquez, Chief Historian of the Terran Federation. I believe we have much to discuss." Chairman Vexter cleared his throat, a sound like grinding stone. "Dr. Vasquez, while we're pleased to discover that humanity survived the Crovorian assault, we must express our concern about your recent actions. The destruction of their fleet was justified." Dr. Vasquez pulled out a small device and set it on the table. "May I?" Without waiting for permission, she activated the device. The air above the table shimmered, and suddenly they were looking at Earth as it had been 5,000 years ago, blue and green, and beautiful, with the lights of vast cities twinkling on the night side. Our homeworld, Dr. Vasquez said softly, population 12 billion. We had just achieved faster-than-light travel, had made contact with our first alien species. We were so excited to join the galactic community. The image shifted, showing massive ships approaching Earth, ships bearing the distinctive biomechanical design of the Crovorian Empire. The Crovorians came as diplomats, Dr. Vasquez continued. They offered us membership in the Galactic Council, protection, trade agreements. We welcomed them with open arms. Ambassador Sci-Fi leaned forward. But according to our records, humanity was aggressive, expansionist. The Crovorians were forced to act in self-defense when we what? Dr. Vasquez's eyes flashed when we discovered what they were really doing. The hologram changed. Now it showed the interior of what looked like a massive factory. Humanoid figures moved along conveyor belts, but something was wrong with them. Their movements were too slow, too mechanical. The Crovorians weren't interested in trade. Dr. Vasquez said, her voice deadly quiet. They were interested in processing. They had discovered that human neural tissue, when properly prepared, could be used to enhance their own cognitive abilities. They saw us as a renewable resource. The room erupted in shocked exclamations. Several ambassadors rose from their seats, their translators struggling to keep up with the various languages being spoken at once. That's impossible, Chairman Vexter protested. The Crovorians are a civilized species. They would never. They would, and they did. Dr. Vasquez manipulated the device, and the hologram showed new images: underground facilities, humans in containment cells, Crovorian scientists conducting experiments. We discovered their operation by accident. A supply ship crash-landed on one of our colony worlds. When we investigated, we found thousands of human prisoners being prepared for processing. The images were stomach-turning. Even the most hardened war veterans in the room looked away. So we fought back, Dr. Vasquez said simply. We fought back hard, but we were outnumbered and outgunned. The Crovorians had the support of the Galactic Council, had convinced you that we were the aggressors. When they attacked Earth directly, we had no choice. The hologram showed the final battle: human ships fighting desperately against overwhelming odds, the planet's surface burning under orbital bombardment. We evacuated everyone we could. Dr. Vasquez said, generation ships, hidden colonies, sleeper vessels sent to the far reaches of the galaxy. The Crovorians thought they had one when they destroyed the evacuation fleet. They were wrong. The image shifted one final time, showing a massive space station hidden in a nebula. It was clearly human-built, but on a scale that dwarfed anything in the known galaxy. We've been out there for 5,000 years, Dr. Vasquez said, growing, learning, preparing, and now we're back. She deactivated the device and looked around the room. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Chapter 3. The Reckoning. The emergency session of the Galactic Council had been in session for 6 hours. Representatives from 47 species filled the expanded chamber, their voices raised in heated debate. The humans had withdrawn their ship to a respectful distance, but their presence loomed over every word spoken. The evidence is overwhelming, declared Ambassador Thexana of the Centauri Republic, her crystalline form shimmering with agitation. The Crovorians have been lying to us for millennia. The question is, how many other species have they processed over the years? That's not the question, snapped General Korvax of the Serpentine Coalition. The question is what we do about these humans. They've just demonstrated that they can destroy one of our most powerful member species without breaking a sweat. They're a threat. A threat to whom? Ambassador Sci-Fi stood, her purple robes rustling. To us, or to the criminals who have been hiding among us? Chairman Vexter raised his clawed hand for silence. The floor recognizes the representative from the Andromedan Collective. A tall, ethereal being stepped forward, its form shifting between dimensions. When it spoke, its voice echoed with harmonic overtones that made the universal translators struggle. We have consulted the memory cores, it said, the ancient databases that predate the current council. The humans speak truth. There are records of 17 species that have mysteriously vanished over the past 10,000 years. All were last seen in Crovorian space. A chill settled over the chamber. 17 species. Billions of lives. Furthermore, the Andromedan continued. We have detected energy signatures matching known Crovorian bioprocessing facilities. In 12 systems currently under their control, the operations are extensive. The chamber erupted in chaos. Accusations flew back and forth. Some delegates demanded immediate action against the remaining Crovorian holdings. Others called for the humans to be expelled from council space. A few simply sat in stunned silence, processing the magnitude of what they had learned. Order! Chairman Vexter's voice boomed through the chamber. We will have order. As the noise died down, the communication array crackled to life. Admiral Chen's voice filled the chamber once again. Council members, I hope you're having a productive discussion. However, I feel I should inform you that we've detected several Crovorian distress signals from systems still under their control. It appears they're attempting to dispose of evidence. The main view screen activated, showing a planetary surface. Massive smoke columns rose from what had clearly been industrial facilities. Even from orbit, the scale of destruction was visible. We cannot allow this, Admiral Chen continued. We're moving to secure the remaining Crovorian facilities. Any attempts to interfere will be considered hostile acts, Admiral. Chairman Vexter spoke quickly. Surely we can negotiate some kind of negotiate? The word dripped with contempt. Chairman, with respect. You've had 5,000 years to uncover this conspiracy. You failed. We won't. The view screen shifted, showing new images, human ships dropping out of hyperspace around a dozen different worlds, their weapons already charging. But, Admiral Chen continued, we're not monsters. Any species that wishes to join us in cleaning up this mess is welcome. Any species that stands in our way won't. The transmission ended, leaving the chamber in absolute silence. Ambassador Sci-Fi stood slowly. I move that the Galactic Council formally condemn the Crovorian Empire and authorize joint operations with the Terran Federation to liberate any surviving prisoners. Seconded. Called out Ambassador Sci-Fi. Thirded. Added the Andromedan representative. Within minutes, the vote was unanimous. The Crovorian Empire, one of the founding members of the Galactic Council, was officially expelled and marked as a hostile entity. But as the delegates filed out of the chamber, many couldn't shake the feeling that they had just witnessed something far more significant than the fall of a single empire. They had witnessed the return of a species that had been forged in the fires of genocide. And tempered by 5,000 years of preparation, the humans were back. And the galaxy would never be the same. Chapter 4. The New Order 6 months had passed since the revelation, as historians were already calling it. The Galactic Council Station had been expanded twice to accommodate the flood of new information, evidence, and refugees that poured in daily. The humans had established a permanent embassy, a sleek, efficient structure that seemed to grow from the station's hull like a natural extension. Dr. Elena Vasquez stood in the main briefing room, surrounded by holographic displays showing the progress of the liberation efforts. The numbers were staggering. 1.2 million beings found in Crovorian processing facilities, representing 43 different species. Some had been imprisoned for centuries. The rehabilitation process is going well, she reported to the assembled council members. Most of the survivors are responding to treatment. We've managed to reverse some of the neural modifications, though the psychological trauma will take much longer to heal. Ambassador Sci-Fi nodded grimly. The Fourth Empire has prepared refugee centers on 12 worlds. We're ready to receive another 10,000 survivors. The Centauri Republic has established medical facilities specialized in multi-species care. Added Ambassador Sci-Fi. Our crystal resonance therapy has shown remarkable results with the neural rehabilitation. Chairman Vexter cleared his throat. Dr. Vasquez, while we're grateful for humanity's decisive action in this matter, the Council must address the elephant in the room. Your fleet's capabilities far exceed anything we've seen. Some of our members are concerned about the balance of power in the galaxy. Dr. Vasquez smiled an expression that somehow managed to be both warm and terrifying. Chairman, I understand your concerns, but you should know that what you've seen is just the tip of the iceberg. She activated a new display. The hologram showed star charts spanning the entire galaxy, with clusters of human settlements marked in blue. The sheer scale was breathtaking. We've established colonies in over 3,000 systems, Dr. Vasquez continued. Hidden worlds, fortress systems, mobile fleets. We've been preparing for this day for 5 millennia. Did you really think we'd show up unprepared? The room fell silent. 3,000 systems. That was more than half the known galaxy. However, Dr. Vasquez continued, we didn't come back for conquest. We came back for justice. And now that justice has been served, we're more interested in rebuilding than ruling. She gestured, and the display changed to show massive construction projects, space stations, terraforming operations, research facilities. We're proposing a new kind of galactic civilization, she said, one based on cooperation rather than exploitation. We call it the Terran Accord. A new voice spoke from the back of the room. And what makes you think we want to join your accord? Everyone turned to see a figure they hadn't expected, Admiral Sarah Chen herself, standing in the doorway. She was smaller than her reputation suggested. A woman in her 50s with graying hair and eyes that seemed to hold the weight of ages. Admiral. Chairman Vexter said, rising from his seat. We weren't expecting you. I'm sure you weren't. Admiral Chen replied, walking into the room. But I felt this conversation required a personal touch. She moved to the center of the room, her presence somehow filling the space. Despite her relatively small stature, General Korvax asked a good question, she said, looking directly at the Serpentine Coalition representative. Why should you join us? The answer is simple, because the alternative is far worse. A new display activated, showing deep space. At first, it seemed empty. Then, slowly, shapes began to resolve, massive structures, clearly artificial, moving between the stars. We weren't the only ones the Croverians were experimenting on, Admiral Chen said quietly. They were also trying to create artificial intelligence using processed organic neural tissue. They succeeded 3 months ago. These constructs broke free from their containment facilities and began reproducing. The shapes on the display multiplied, spreading across the star map like a plague. They're called the Devourers, Admiral Chen continued. They consume organic matter to fuel their reproduction. They're highly intelligent, utterly hostile, and they're heading this way. The room erupted. In panicked voices, several ambassadors began speaking at once, their translators struggling to keep up. How long do we have? Ambassador Zexhai asked, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. Based on their current trajectory and rate of expansion, they'll reach the Outer Rim worlds within 2 years, Admiral Chen replied. The core systems will fall within 5, and you think you can stop them? General Korvax's voice was skeptical. Admiral Chen smiled an expression that was all teeth and no warmth. General, we've been fighting for our survival for 5,000 years. We've turned warfare into an art form. The Devourers are about to discover what happens when you threaten humanity's new family. She gestured, and the display showed the human fleet, not the 10,000 ships they'd seen before, but hundreds of thousands, all moving with purpose toward the galactic rim. The Terran Accord isn't just an invitation, Admiral Chen said. It's a promise. Stand with us, and we'll stand with you. Face the darkness together, and we'll all see the light on the other side. Chairman Vexter stood slowly. Admiral Chen. Dr. Vasquez, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I formally accept your proposal. How do we begin? We've already begun, Admiral Chen replied. The first joint training exercises start tomorrow. Welcome to the family. # Epilogue. The long road home 1 year later. The battle against the Devourers raged across the Outer Rim. The combined fleets of the Terran Accord, now including 47 species, had established a defensive line that stretched across 12 sectors. The fighting was brutal, but they were holding. Dr. Elena Vasquez stood in the observation deck of the TSS Endurance, watching the Earth turn slowly. Below, The planet had been restored to its former glory, its cities rebuilt, its oceans clean. Children played in parks that had been ash and ruined just months before. Strange to think it all started with a lie, said a voice behind her. She turned to see Admiral Chen approaching, her uniform bearing the new insignia of the Terran Accord. Did it start with a lie? Dr. Vasquez asked. Or did it start with hope? Both, I suppose. Admiral Chen replied, joining her at the viewing port. The Crovrians lied about what they were doing, but we hoped we could survive long enough to come home. They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, watching their world turn. In the distance, ships from a dozen different species moved in formation, their crews training together for the battles ahead. Do you think we'll win? Dr. Vasquez asked finally. Admiral Chen smiled, a real smile this time. Warm and genuine. Elena, we're humans. We survived genocide, 5,000 years of exile, and the discovery that our enemies had been hiding among our allies. We've turned the galaxy's greatest threat into our greatest opportunity for unity. She gestured toward the mixed fleet outside. Look at them. Vorthic warriors training alongside Centauri healers, Serpentine engineers working with Andromedan. Philosophers, species that had never even met before, are now dying for each other. The Devourers wanted to consume everything, Admiral Chen continued. Instead, they've given us something we never had before, a reason to stand together. They've turned us from scattered civilizations into a true galactic family. Dr. Vasquez nodded. And families protect each other. Exactly. Admiral Chen placed a hand on her shoulder. The Crovrians tried to destroy us by breaking us apart. The Devourers will fail because they brought us together. We're stronger now than we've ever been. Below them, Earth continued its eternal dance around the sun. Above them, the stars beckoned with promise and possibility, and around them, the greatest alliance in galactic history, prepared to face whatever darkness the universe might throw. At them, the humans had come home, and they had brought the galaxy with them.